Good morning, or actually good afternoon. Ody, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right, excellent. Nice to have you on the show. It's the first time for me to have somebody from Nigeria on the show as well. We've had many kind of nationalities as well, but never somebody from Nigeria. I've always looked at Nigeria as being a world within this world that we live
Yeah.
in. But we get plenty of time to talk about your home country. I've revealed that already that you are from Nigeria. But tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where do you come from? Where are you now? And tell us a little bit about your cultural frame of reference, please.
Okay, my name is Odinaka Ekweremadu, Lavender,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost. I just finished my master's in Anglo-Ruskin University in Cambridge, United Kingdom.
Uh-huh.
Okay, sorry, just cracked. Yeah, finished my master's at Anglo-Ruskin University in Cambridge. And I'm from the southern eastern part of Nigeria, and
Yes.
my state is Enugu State. And just to give you a brief intro about my state, what
Yeah.
we do, like what kind of food we eat,
Uh-huh.
different from every other regional part.
Yes, please.
Languages we speak is different. Sorry, the language we speak is we got like I think 7 to 8 different states in where I come from,
Yeah.
or we speak the same language but different dialect of Igbo. It's called Igbo, as
Mm-hmm.
spelled Igbo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And what kind of food would you eat that is different from, say, the biggest city, Lagos?
Um, I would have said gari and soup, but I think everybody in Nigeria eats that same kind of food. But
Uh-huh.
Igbo food, we will eat like egusi.
Uh-huh.
There's a soup called egusi.
Yeah.
And yeah, egusi is a soup made by mostly Igbo people,
Uh-huh.
but Gary is something we all share as
Okay.
one. Yeah,
Okay. And where are you currently at this moment?
I'm in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria.
And Abuja, just for those of us who are not very familiar with the geography of that big country in the western part of Africa, is in the top, right? It's in the north of the
Yes, I
country.
think it is in the north, actually, in the country. Yes.
Okay. And you say that you're from the southeast. Then what makes you currently asking you what are you doing there is a bit rude, but that's sort of the way that the question that I would like to
Um,
ask.
Basically, my parents work here.
Uh
My
huh.
dad works here, NGO company, and my mom has a business shop now, and that's why I'm actually staying here. So I'm
Okay.
living with my parents currently. Yeah.
Excellent. Now your English is very good because you spent some time in the UK. How did you end up there? I mean, how tell us a little bit about the road that you took from Nigeria because you're quite young still, right? And you've traveled in life. I mean, quite a lot already. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
First and foremost, I was born in Lagos, the former capital of Nigeria. I did my primary school there in St. Benedict's.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2004, I came to Abuja to do my secondary school. I started from 2004 to 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2011, I went to UK, University of Huddersfield in West Yorkshire in UK.
Mm-hmm.
I did my foundation from 2011 to 2012. And then I went and I progressed to my first degree in graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
I did that from 2012 to 2015. And I wasn't satisfied with what I've done because never really liked my first degree. It was quite good, stressful, lots of designs,
Mm-hmm.
lots of concepts.
Mm-hmm.
So I just knew like I had a chance to just progress to my master's since I didn't want to just redo another first degree. Again, I wanted a master's. So I went with intercultural communication because I just want to know what other cultures look like. And my dream is to go around African countries someday
Yeah.
because I've heard about a lot about African countries, but I've never actually been there. The only African country I've been to is Ghana
Yeah.
and Benin Republic,
Okay. Which are
apart from
are
Nigeria.
close to Nigeria.
Yes.
Yes. And why did you go to the UK? Is that a logical destination for you coming from Nigeria, or was there a particular different motivation?
Because the educational standard is better than Nigeria. Nigeria is improving on it, but the UK is definitely standard.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that would be just your preference there.
Yes.
Yes. And then being born and raised in Nigeria, then coming to the UK, how is that? I mean, how do you survive that?
Okay. Way back when I was a little boy,
Mm-hmm.
definitely with my parents, I used to come to the United Kingdom for holidays. I used to come for holidays and just, we go to London Eye, you get to talk to people, you get to go to parks and talk to random people. It was kind of weird at the beginning, but we have to get used to it because we go there like every single summer. We keep going back to the UK. So studying the UK with the experience really hard with my traveling experience was very easy to connect.
So you mentioned the word weird. So what is weird the first time you get into the UK being a Nigerian?
Because the first time we went there, when you speak to people with like, it's something called an African accent, people over there, like European, don't get to understand what you're saying. So you have to like tone your voice a bit for them to understand. Because when you talk, they go like, pardon, all the time.
Yeah.
So you have to try and speak like them just to make them understand what you're trying to say.
You're doing pretty well there, I must say.
Yeah.
I would have difficulties making out that you're originally from Nigeria, from Africa.
I'm definitely from Nigeria.
Well, by the looks of it, we can see that because next to this being a podcast via iTunes, it's also going to be on YouTube on my YouTube channel. So you can actually have a look at Ody as well if you're listening to this audio version only. So let's talk somewhat more about Nigeria, because I think I've been there once years and years ago. I've been to Lagos, and it was a business trip. I was there for a couple of days. I have I've had a really nice experience there, but I've seen things that I would just never believe I would ever see. So describe Nigeria for us if you can, and in terms of something like the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, I know you're on this mission, and I know you wouldn't shed the bad things either. So explain Nigeria to us a bit.
Well, I would say Nigeria, it's a very, very great nation because the slogan of the country is good people, great nation. But first and foremost, before I go into that, I want to say in my undergrads, I did a dissertation titled Rebranding and Reimaging Nigeria. So the concept of that essay was just to tell people that, yes, we know that Nigeria is corrupt. Yes, we know that, and corruption is not just only in Nigeria. We can see corruption in any other country. Sure. I don't really have a case study for that right now, but I know we can see corruption for any other country. We can see bad people. You see bad people everywhere, fair enough. You see bad roads in a lot of places. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and the whole concept of the essay was to say, yes, I know that Nigeria is bad, but at the same time, the whole country cannot be bad. So I came back and did a 1-hour documentary. I had to introduce some influential people, had to go to different states like Lagos. I went to Calabar, I did Abuja, and I went to Niger State. So it's just to show people that we have the negative, obviously, but at the same time, we have the positive. So if you're going to generalize Nigeria, you have to actually go there and see it for yourself, because if you believe what people say, then you're actually going to the wrong path.
Yeah. So what would you say, what would be the typical thing that you would describe as being the ugly or the bad part of Nigeria?
Nigeria lacks, I'm really against a lot of things that happen, because I keep saying Nigeria right now, we're over 200 million people, I would say. And what I think we should do is we should concentrate more on family planning, because a lot of kids, you see a lot of kids on the road, a lot of kids in the orphanage, and the parents cannot take care of them, and the government is not, well, to me, personally, I haven't seen much the government has been doing to help people on the road. But at the end of the day, I agree that the government cannot help everybody in a certain country. It can give everybody jobs and all that, but people should be able to look for job opportunities. But the government needs to help to a certain extent at the same time. Yeah. Okay,
that's fair enough. And then ending on the good part, I mean, on this question of the good, the bad, and the ugly, you say Nigeria, the slogan is good people, great nation. That's what you just said, right? Yes.
Yes.
So what is the good part? What is the thing that we don't, and we I mean the West, don't seem to see?
I think Nigerians in general are actually good people, but what makes people speak negative about Nigerians themselves, like Nigerians can speak bad about a different Nigerian, is the culture. Culture plays a very big role in this country because we have over 500 different type of tribes in Nigeria. But the main ones are just Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. They're the three major ones. We got lots of other tribes, but they're all they're minorities. So people don't really speak that. You either speak Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, or just English. But there's something called broken English. It's a new kind of slang, just slang language. Yeah. So I would say, I don't mean to say this, but I've passed through a lot of experiences, met a lot of people who I would regard them as tribalistic people. They would treat you different from how they treat. Like, I'm from the southeast. I'm Igbo. If I see an Hausa person, he may not regard me as because he may say maybe we're Nigerians. Okay, we're Nigerians, but we don't speak the same language. You may not approach. You're going to approach somebody from your state may not be the same way you may approach me.
Yeah.
But I don't think culture should be a problem. If culture is going to be a problem, then I don't see the point of people talking in the first place. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think we need to concentrate more on personality than culture. We need to, like, culture is meant to be like a unified kind of thing, like uniting people together than separating us. The only thing I believe can separate us is personality, not culture. Your human values can make you stop talking to somebody, but your culture shouldn't, because you were born into it from your parents, like previous generations.
Exactly.
So it's not your fault. Yeah.
No, it's and still, what you mentioned, 500 tribes, 3 major ones. That means that collectiveness or collectivity, the collectivistic side of Nigerian culture is very much present.
It is.
And do you think that you can actually wipe that out or overcome that by focusing on individuals? Do you think you will? Do you see any signs that it is happening right now, or is that just wishful thinking?
I'm literally hopeful that everybody's comfortable speaking their language than somebody being forced to speak something that you don't belong to. Because growing up in secondary school, we only do Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa as languages courses. You're only allowed to choose one of the 3. And many people don't even understand those languages. So they're forced to do something they don't like and end up failing it.
Yeah.
So I don't really see it. I think, well, at the same time, it's kind of hard putting every single languages in a certain school and saying every single school in Nigeria should teach these languages, because the school has to be very big and the teachers has to be a lot, because the languages is too many.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yes. So it's either people just stick with speaking only English or they try and learn another language, but it's very hard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds they sound like good ideas, and I want to hear some more of your ideas in a moment as well. You mentioned just before me asking that question that, for instance, what Nigeria should be focusing on for one is family planning, right?
Yeah.
There are like 200 million people. You say that's too much, too many, so we need to do something about that. And that triggered the other question. You can't just copy Western methods to a country like Nigeria. So what do you suggest to do then? Because family planning is a Western thing as well, paying for social welfare, these kind of things, medical systems. Those are, I'm not saying they're only Western concept, but they tend to work relatively well here and not so well in your country. So, and we also know that you cannot use whatever's happening in one country as a template for that to use that in another country. So what do you suggest to do?
I would say family planning is actually working in Nigeria with some NGOs. Some NGOs are like partnering with European companies, because most of the NGOs in Nigeria's headquarters are always in America or in the UK.
Yeah.
So they always have like partnership deals to see what we can do. But like I said earlier, the government still needs to play a very big role in family planning, because if for example, if a man with kids, like 7 kids, earning 10,000 naira per month, it's not enough. I don't know how he wants to pay for this kid. So I think it's high time people make up. Even if the government doesn't support you, you know what you're doing. It's high time you have to live within your range. I'm earning this amount of money. I shouldn't have this amount of kids. I just believe it's common sense rather than somebody telling you cannot have this. You already know by yourself.
Yeah.
You should. These are things you should know already without. You don't need to go to a program called family planning and let them explain to you. These are things you know that, because this family planning thing is not really working in Nigeria, because people sleep with people, get more kids and all that, and just dump them in the orphanage homes. And the government there are a lot of things in the country that needs to be focused on than kids in the orphans. I'm not saying government shouldn't focus on kids, but they're like more major things to focus about in the economy than just a group of people.
Yeah. You mentioned an amount, 10,000 naira per month, you said, right?
Yes, just an example.
How much would that be in, say, US dollars or euros? More or less.
To be honest, I don't have an idea.
Let me see if I can calculate that real quickly, or I can look that up. Okay. In the meantime, your visions are very and the way you talk are very Westernized. from what you say. You seem to have a very clear outlook on the direction that Nigeria should go. And again, I'm coming back. Isn't it that family values are so much different from what you're actually saying right now? Isn't it still tradition, I would say, almost, to have a big family and to have as many sons as possible? And it's a status as well, isn't it?
True. Tradition is really playing a big role in people's decision, especially in Nigeria, because that's what like the previous generation believe in. But I think people should be more exposed. You don't need to travel out to be exposed. People need to be more exposed. Like one thing in Nigeria is like respect is very is looked on a very high level in Nigeria. Like you can, if you advise your parents for something or advising somebody older than you, be like, you don't know more than me. You shouldn't tell me what to do, but you cannot be right all the time because of your older. Whatever I've gone through, you may not have gone through it. Whatever I've seen, you may not have seen it. Whatever you've seen, I may not have seen it. So it's not about like the age. It's just about more exposure. Like people that have gone to the United Kingdom or US or wherever, Dubai, you see like most British kids, like most British family had to live with a dad, a mom, and let's say 3 kids max. Most of them 3 kids, 2 kids. And the economy of the country, it's good. The economy of Nigeria is not really good. And putting that budget with corruption and the amount of people in Nigeria, it's really hard. That means people, like I said, like the more people give birth in Nigeria, the more there's no job opportunities, then there's a tendency of the terrorism increasing day by day because people are forced to do that because they don't have money. They don't know where to really concentrate on. So you can't really blame people who would do that to an extent. You can't really blame them to an extent. Yes.
Okay, in your LinkedIn profile, you describe that you have ideas and you have a political ambition as well. I wrote this one down, that you say you want to share your ideas about how to prevent Nigeria to become a failed state. Why would you consider Nigeria on the brink or heading towards being a failed state? And if you'd be president, Ody, what would you do?
That's a very tough question, to be honest.
Well, I actually do 2 parts. So why, first, let's start with the first part then. Why would you consider Nigeria heading or being on the brink of being a failed state? Because those are heavy words.
Okay. Yeah, very, very heavy words. I know they're heavy words, but I've listened to a lot of people complaints. I've done a lot of research. I've done about 5 different essays, and they're all concentrated on Nigeria. So I've seen like the increase in corruption in Nigeria. It's really high, and at some point it can get really annoying because if you're put into a public office and your job is to help the country, I don't see why you should steal money or get people's share. Like I don't see why you should, like, it's all in the mind at the end of the day. You're getting salary for this, you're getting bonuses for where you are already. So I don't see why you need to take somebody else's share, and you expect the country to be fine.
Yeah.
You expect people to be happy. You don't like. I don't know of any politician in Nigeria who lives the kind of life people live on the streets. I don't know of anyone like that.
In Nigeria.
I may not know all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, in Nigeria. I may not know all of them, but I've never experienced something like a politician sleeping on the streets or an ex-politician sleeping on the streets. But there's still people who have been complaining for years and years and years. But the same thing is still going on. Like, give you an example of, there's a musician in Nigeria called Fela Kuti. He really started this movement, this campaign called Movement of the People. I think he ran for president at one point, but on a very small scale. And he's just fighting for human rights, saying the government is suffering everybody. Nigeria cannot be good with the same bad politicians we've had. The same people who have been there over the years are still in the country, controlling the country. So what's the problem? Nobody can make new decisions. You're not ready to listen to what, because it's all believed. Like we gave Nigeria, we won independence for Nigeria, so we know what we're talking about. But we've seen it's not happened in like 50 years. We've not seen anything. No. It's still the same thing. I don't know how long people can wait. That's why I said the more the country keeps declining, the more increase in terrorism would keep going really high. And it's very easy to recruit people who are not going to school.
Yes.
If the government can sponsor the country, people going abroad to school, give them good education. When they come back, they work just like the Chinese economy. They send everybody out to any country. Whatever you study, you come back and impact the country. Yeah. But I think that's what we're missing in Nigeria here. If you can And
So,
I believe
what
Nigeria
would
is
President Ody do in this? You're 22 years old, I believe, and you've got a lifetime ahead of you, also potentially politically. So, what would President Ody do? What are the three things that you would do?
If I was to be president, hopefully, what I would do is, if you found really guilty of anything, we would follow the rule of law, regardless of who you are, regardless of how much you have or who you know. It shouldn't be done like that, because if it's done like that, then there's no point of you being there in the first place. Like I always say to people, like I'm really blunt when it comes to telling somebody the truth. If you're my friend and you're doing something wrong, I let you know this is wrong. You may get angry with me, you may get upset with me, but if I don't tell you that, then we're living in deceit.
Yeah.
Exactly what's happening in like the political level in Nigeria. They don't tell themselves the truth. That's why everyone just thinks it's okay just to keep doing the same thing.
Yes.
And the power level is abused in the country. If you're really up there, nobody can tell you what to do and how to do it. You have so much authority that nobody can tell you what to do. So I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
Because everybody just looks at it from a political level, but you have to look at it from like a humanitarian. Like, we're human beings just like you, but we may not have the same opportunity as you. Doesn't mean you should treat it this bad, because you never know tomorrow, like they say. You never just know.
Yes, very true. Very true. Yeah. There's one other thing that I think Westerns are very surprised about, which is one of these, I would almost say, unique things that come out of Nigeria, which is the spamming that you do, the email spamming. So I think Nigeria makes up, what is it, 93% or something of all the spam mails being sent out. In any case, I'm not sure if the percentage is right, but it's an amazing amount. Why do you, I'm making air quotes here, plurally do this? And how can people justify this? Because people apparently find this normal to do, a normal practice.
To be very honest with you, this is the first time I'm hearing something like this.
Oh, sorry.
This is the first time. I get spam emails. If you see my email, I got like 9,999 plus different spams, junk.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that happens. I've never heard like Nigerians sending spams to people's email. This is literally the first time I'm hearing this. Okay. Maybe if I research on this, I can get an answer to it.
All right. Okay. Well, possibly look into that, or it's just a thought. In any case, actually, I was assuming that you were in the United Kingdom still, but apparently you simply live and stay in Nigeria. As you would. How do you? So I'm going to reverse the question. So how do you keep in touch with? Either with your university mates or with the UK as such, if you're that far away.
Yeah, I literally get everybody on Facebook or Instagram, or we talk on Skype or FaceTime, whatever. I always keep them in touch. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what would be your biggest dream when you consider Nigeria?
What would be my biggest dream about Nigeria?
Yes.
I really want Nigeria to be like any other good country, like the world powers countries. That's what I want. That's what I see in my head Nigeria going to. But the only way we can get there is if we all be on the same page. I understand everybody wants their CV to be the best. Everybody want to be on a great level. But like, I just believe if I can help you and you can help me, then we're good. I just believe we just have to help regardless of wherever you come from, what religion you are, what tribe you are, whatever. It doesn't mean those things would go one day. They would fade off. We would die one day. When I talk, people say, "Oh, do you talk too much?" But it's just the truth. That's just the truth at the end of the day. I just feel if we can help, you help me, I help you. It doesn't mean because I help you, you have to help me. It doesn't mean.
Right.
If you see a chance you want to help me, then you can. Yeah. Then you know that we're going to be on a very clear path, and that'll be good.
Okay. Are you? Yeah. How serious are your plans to actually get into politics in Nigeria?
You're very, very, very strong.
Very strong. All right.
Yes.
I'm very curious. We get the news from Nigeria as well, of course, here in Belgium, where I am currently. So I'll keep a close eye on how you're developing yourself in terms of your political career. I'm towards the one of the last questions of this interview. Can you give us like 3 tips to become more culturally competent taken from your experience, being Nigerian, having grown up there, but then studying for quite some time in the UK? What are 3 cultural tips that you can give us to become more culturally competent?
When you mean cultural competent, you mean united, to unite? Is that what you mean?
Well, if that's how you want to interpret it, that would be fine as well. But if I would come to Nigeria, or if you would come to a country that you've never been, what would you do? What three things could you do to become more culturally competent, to fit in better with that other culture?
I would be very social with people.
Yeah.
I'll be very social, just to learn just the way people live, what people eat, how they speak, just to be, like they say, everything that happens in Italy stays in Italy. So you just have to act. You have to act like them, and it has to be from your heart, not just because you want to be or look like them.
Uh-huh.
So I would be very social with them if I was to come there to fit in. I'll be very social with them.
Okay. That would
and
be
learn more. Yes. Number two.
I'm putting you on the spot. Question. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but that's fine.
Oh, number two. What will number two be? Oh, I thought about this today. Having like, my phone is about to die. Is it possible to get a charger?
Well, if you must, go ahead. Yeah, why not? We get an insight at this moment in a house in Nigeria, in Abuja.
Sorry?
I said we just are having an insight in the house that you're currently in, that you are. So while you are getting your charger, as a matter of fact, and I think we're walking through some sort of corridor, and here we are back again. Are we on a power supply now?
Yes, we are.
Good. All right. So we were talking about the three tips that you could give us to become more culturally competent, to fit in better with another culture, or to understand another culture better. What three tips could you give us? You said you'd be very social with people, eat, play with them, talk to them, but it should be from the heart. So what would be the next one?
The next one would be to set up like a campaign. If you can get a group of people who would go like around the world with different people and just share, okay, this is what we do from this country. Like, it's like having, for example, you have a team of 12 people or 100 people or whatever coming from different parts of the world and literally coming to give like public speaking to people. This is what I do in my country. This is what we do in our country. This is what we do. And tell them, oh, if we can do this and do this and do that, and it can add up to this and we can be united. We can come as one. We don't have to see ourselves as, oh, I'm from UK, I'm from Dubai, I'm from Saudi. It doesn't really matter where you come from, just as far as you can interact with yourself. That'll be good.
Excellent. Do you have a third one as well?
I'm short of ideas.
That's all right. If you come up with something, you can always mail that, and I'll add that to the show notes of this number 68 podcast. The last question, Ody, that I want to ask you is, if people would like to get in touch with you for whatever reason, how can they best do that?
You can get in touch with me on my email, my Facebook, Skype, Instagram.
Okay, and what name should they use? What's your email address? Could you give me your email address?
So that's EKW.
EKW.
ERE.
Yeah.
MADU at Yahoo _O at yahoo.com. That's Ekweremadu _O at yahoo.com.
Okay. All right, that'll be in the show notes as well. And if they put your name either in Facebook or in LinkedIn, I've seen both your profiles in Facebook and in LinkedIn as well. You get some sort of an insight view on what Ody is up to. Ody, thanks so much for taking the time and talking to us and being on video as well, and not only audio. Thankfully, the Wi-Fi connection held up, so the result is actually very good. And again, thanks for your time, and I'm pretty sure we'll bump into each other in the future. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.